Hi, I'm Stephen Feinberg, Executive Director of the Rhode Island Film and Television Office. Our guest tonight is a fantastic filmmaker. He's a special effects wizard, and he just directed his own film, Girl of My Dreams. I want to welcome Johnny Wilson to Double Feature.
Thank you.
I mean, you've become like a compositor for film. Can you describe that for the audience so they understand what that is?
Well, let's see. Compositing is basically laying images on top of one another.
Yeah.
So essentially, a way to look at it would be the way Walt Disney did films back in the day with the multiplane camera,
Right.
where you would have several images laid on top of each other. So
And those would be cells. At that time, it was glass.
Cells and glass.
Right, glass on top of glass to create a sense of foreground, background, etc.
Exactly. And one of the images that always sticks out to me is a shot from Pinocchio, where they go in on Geppetto's village.
Yes.
And you can see everything that's in front of you is moving faster, and everything in the back's moving a little bit slowly, so you get that parallax. Well, with compositing, you're doing that, but you're doing it in the computer, and you don't. Sometimes you'll have two elements, a foreground and a background, and sometimes you'll have thousands of elements.
Right.
And so you put them all together, and basically try to make them look like they were all shot at the same time on the same location.
Now, how did you get involved in that part? I mean, starting to do the visual effects, and you have to learn how to do advanced computer work.
Yeah, that was the hard part for me. Because I didn't have a computer until I moved out to California, which was '96. I was about 24, 25 before I ever had a computer.
Yep.
And I remember I was on the phone with all my friends. What do I do now? You know, and it's one of the things is with the position that I'm in, I'm actually kind of a self-contained freelancer. So my equipment is my own, and all the software is my own. So I have to know how to troubleshoot. I have to be able to fix technical problems, and I've learned it over time, and I still don't enjoy that part of it.
Right. So is it just trial and error? Is that how you're learning?
Yeah, basically, and friends. Like I've had some friends who, one of my best friends from college, his name's Derek Ledbetter, and he's an incredible compositor.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what compositor meant until he told me.
Right.
And he's the one who, held me by the hand and said, "This is what you do.
Yeah.
This is a part of it. This is a part of it. There's rotoscoping, there's lighting, there's compositing, there's animation, and all the different aspects of it."
Right.
So yeah, friends, and that's the only way I would have learned.
And isn't that like the beauty of collaboration? I mean, it's the beauty of cinema. What about, I noticed you worked on Hidalgo, which a friend of mine, Joe Johnston, he and I went to film school together.
Yeah.
So Joe had won like Academy Awards for Star Wars designing.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Yeah, and he was doing Hidalgo, the film about a horse. How did you get involved in that?
That wasn't at the same company. It was a different company,
Yep.
and we would do sort of invisible effects. And I'm not sure who the salesperson was that was dealing with the. Was that Paramount?
It was Disney.
That was Disney.
Touchstone, yeah.
That was Touchstone. Okay, so they just brought a handful of shots over and said,
Yeah.
"Can you fix this and fix this?" And my shot was, they had a camera crane go across. Oh, it was a shot where Viggo Mortensen, he finds some horse stuff on the ground. He's seeing how old it is, so he can tell how far away everybody else is. There was a camera shadow on it.
Oh.
They said, remove the camera shadow from this thing. I went, okay. So I spent like a few days removing shadow from
Oh, wow. Okay.
horse dropping.
Yeah. And then he did Captain America, and you were brought on to Captain America, right?
Yeah. I was, I got into Marvel in 2010. The first film I did was Thor, and that film was being posted right at the end of Thor.
Yeah.
So I just jumped on to Captain America.
Wow. And how's that experience been working on the Marvel films?
No, it's been great because, I grew up reading Marvel comics.
Yeah.
I'm a huge comic book geek. And just to be associated with, especially since they've been doing it so well.
Yeah.
It's an unbelievable universe they've created, and to be even a tiny part of that.
Are you doing that in Los Angeles as well, or?
It's at the Disney Studios in Burbank.
Okay, so that's where so every day you're going to Disney when you're working on those.
Yeah, they're taking over the lot.
Right, and they're filming those in like at Pinewood or L Street, one of the studios.
Yeah, sometimes they'll shoot, like they shot Doctor Strange in London.
Yeah.
And they shoot a lot of the stuff in Atlanta.
And now you've been inspired to now direct your own film. Tell us about Girl of My Dreams.
Well, it's funny how it evolved. I mean, I've been wanting to make films ever since I saw The Dark Crystal.
Yep.
Ever since I saw the trailer.
Jim Henson, right? Jim Henson.
Yeah, yeah. He was my hero.
Okay.
I grew up going, I will work for that man one day. Just seeing the trailer of it inspired me more than anything I can say. I saw the trailer after I was watching Secret of Nim.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen anything like that in my life. And I went home and started drawing these images and writing stories.
How old were you?
11.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I've been writing stories and storyboarding them ever since then.
Yeah.
And when you get caught up in, with Marvel, it's a 12-hour day. And then I've got a long drive. So there's not a lot of time to do anything other than just work.
Yeah.
But I had some time off. And I was listening to Pink Floyd one day, and a song where watching the sun come around, turn around, it's coming back over you again.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, I'm running out of time. Do it now. So I got to go back to work in 3 months. So I wrote something and shot it 6 weeks later.
And it's really fantastic.
Thank you.
I mean, but you shot it in 6 weeks later. But then how much time did you spend in post?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, because I went back to work for Marvel, 12-hour days.
Yeah.
So the only time I got to work on it was, well, I was maybe a little too ambitious with the visual effects part of it. While I was off, I taught myself some new stuff like CG, which wasn't something that I normally do.
Yeah.
And I really got into that. I think I was really inspired by, I saw that remake of Clash of the Titans that they
Yes,
did.
yeah.
And I love Ray Harryhausen. Of course, it wasn't Harryhausen, but
Unleash the Rancor. Or no,
Yeah, the
no,
Kraken.
only the Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken. Right.
And so there were actually it was the sequel to it that I saw that really got me, Wrath of the Titans.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, just reminds me of when I was a kid.
Right, right.
And it really lit a fire. And so I was like, I'm just going to make something really visual. So it was only going to be a 5-minute long story.
And when is it down? 12 minutes?
When I first cut it, it was 47 minutes long.
Wow.
And now it's 19.
19 minutes. And it's the power of editing and the power of being tough and,
Yeah.
you know, murdering your little darlings, they
That's
say.
it, killing the babies, murdering the darlings.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a terrific film. It's opening at the film festival, and I think the audience is going to just love it. And it's funny, too. It's very funny. And Molly Fitzgerald is very
She was so great.
so charming.
I was so lucky. It's funny because during the audition process, I knew her from Captain America.
Right.
And I called her to find out if she knew any actresses or actors in the area. And I hadn't talked to her since then. I wasn't even sure if she was still in the area, which she was. And she suddenly was so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And that lit even more of a fire. And she said she wanted to come in and audition for a part that I had. And she came in and stood in for the lead for someone else. And I was like, that's it. Because the second I saw both the male and female lead, Molly and Aaron, I was like, that's it. I mean, really within about 30 seconds, I knew that
And it's got a great charm. It's got a great energy to it. Where do you want to go from here? So what's next on the Johnny Wilson creative trail, the adventure?
Well, I really would like to produce another film.
Yep.
But I don't have as much interest in working in the studio.
Really?
Yeah, with the big studios.
So you want to go back to those roots of like a Sling Blade?
Yeah, a smaller independent film.
Yep.
Something with a little more freedom. Something where the people that are behind it, the financing, the people that make it possible, it's more of a passion project for them.
Yep.
It's not. I mean, it's obviously a business.
Yep.
But it's become so much of a business that it's not what I remember when I was a kid growing up,
Right.
seeing these collaborations with all these people that were so excited to be there. And now, when it's
It's a little more corporate.
Yes, exactly.
Any advice for our filmmakers who are watching this, young filmmakers who are, maybe a little at a crossroads? Any advice you want to give them?
Yeah, just do it. I know it's cliche, but man, just do it. Whatever it is, shoot it with your iPhone. Just write a story and produce something, and that's enough to really kickstart your enthusiasm about it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Beautiful. Well, Johnny, thank you so much for coming to Double
Thank
Feature.
you so much for having me.
It's just been a treat, and I can't wait to see Girl of My Dreams on the big screen and see all of your other work, too.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, pal.
All righty.